Good evening, viewers, and welcome to this edition of NTV Sports Page. Today is Monday, the 28th of January, and I'm Curtis Morton, and with me is
Carlisle Powell.
Well, we are reunited again as part of NTV's special week of activities after how many years, Carlisle?
At least 30 years.
That's a long time, way back when. Well, in our headlines, Nevis has new basketball chief, and in our feature for this evening, Carlon storms to victory at JLPS. We'll take this break and we'll be right back.
Don't want nobody hold me back.
Trouble, trouble, trouble. Let me go. Everybody come. That one you go mad. We are gonna push forward. I want to hear everybody say ready, ready.
Well, we are back, and we begin this evening with basketball. At the recent AGM of the Nevis Amateur Basketball Association, NABA, a brand new president was voted into office. Long-serving and outstanding president, Mrs. Shakima Wanda Parry-France, after recently saying, quote, I do, also said, I do think that I need a break from the top position, and declined any offers to be so nominated. She is, however, settled for a role as the new treasurer of the association. The brand new president-elect is Mr. Freddie Hanley, who is an experienced basketball player and has not only local knowledge of the game, but has been exposed to administrative and other aspects of the sport in the USA. The full executive is as follows. President, Freddie Hanley. Vice President, Veronica Brandy. Secretary, Jakida Thomas. Assistant Secretary, Govani Hendrickson. Treasurer, Shakima Wanda Parry-France. Assistant Treasurer, Kelvin Bramble. PRO, Shoya Lawrence.
And Carlisle, we must say kudos to Wanda France for her excellent service to the game. You would know that basketball certainly is the outstanding, Basketball Association is the outstanding association on the island. Your thoughts?
And for years, the name that you heard repeatedly was Wanda Parry.
Exactly.
Whenever there was basketball, there was Wanda. And I kept thinking to myself, she must have an amazing amount of love for the game.
Speaking of love, you think that her new love said, stop being the president?
Even if he did, I want to suggest that it is the right thing to do. Give him some time, but she has not stepped away from the game totally because she's still there in a very critical position in the association.
Crucial. Well, we switch now to football. St. Kitts and Nevis's head coach, Jack Passy, calls up a strong 22-man squad for training in preparation for the final CONCACAF Nations League encounter versus Suriname on March 23rd in Paramaribo, the capital city. All clubs are asked to make their players available for the national team training, which commences tomorrow, Tuesday, 29 January, at the Halfway Tree playing field. Players are asked to note that transportation will be provided from the football house on Lozak Road, departing at 5 p.m. St. Kitts and Nevis sits in a very good position at 6 points from 3 matches, but must defeat Suriname convincingly at home to book a spot in the 2019 CONCACAF Gold Cup. The squad reads as follows. Zillian Morton, had to be a Morton in there somewhere, Jamal Francis, Fithan Leader, Gerard Williams, Raheem Francis, Malik Roberts, Kadim Lewis, Dijon Simmons, Josh Leader, KJ David, Kimari Rogers, Tyran Handy, Tahir Handy, Devon Elliott, Carlos Bertie, Orlando Mitchum, Tikwani Williams, Alex Charles, Nikwan Phipps, Evans Roy Barnes, Jayan Duncan, and Tikwan Tyrrell. Carlisle, any surprise that we are not seeing a Nevision name registered in a St. Kitts Nevis football team?
Well, for me, Curtis, it has always been about your best team and not necessarily players from different clubs or different islands. Nevis will have to get our football on the ground together. We're going to have to be hosting a tournament with regular good quality matches so that we can get our players ready to play for St. Kitts and Nevis.
And you know the sad news is that at present football is virtually dormant. The last tournament was hosted and organized by the sports department. There was no Football Association leading the way.
So how then can we get players into a strong St. Kitts and Nevis football team? And the same can be said for cricket, but we'll come to that
We'll
later.
come to that a little later. Well, we go to break, and when we come back, we'll have our feature for this evening.
Well, we're back, and tonight we feature athletics. The Joycelyn Liebert Primary School's senior boys cross country was held on the afternoon of Friday, 25th January. The event saw almost 40 boys from grades 3 to 6 competing over the grueling course. They started in the vicinity of the Gingerland Preschool and headed through hard times, through Rollins, which included a couple of testing hills, and then made a left turn by the residence of the famous Willinatta, then made another left turn by Sambo Hanley, down the Rollins main road, and entering the Ural Swanston Highway and finishing in the schoolyard. Apparently, the hills were no threat to young Carlon Ferdinand, who not only ran the entire race at a fair clip, but unlike the other athletes, did not stop a single time to catch his breath. When he entered the schoolyard to the loud cheers of the huge crowd present, third grader Dickwan Benjamin was a distant second. The top spots were as follows: Carlon Ferdinand, blue; Dickwan Benjamin, blue; Carlton Pluck, green; Kenio Challenger, green; Neanje Liebert, green; Isaiah Chapman, green; Shandon Burton, blue; Joshua Liebert, red; Ashley Paris, red; Vaden Clark Neal, blue; and Nikidre Hendrickson in 11th place. Point standing, Red Eagles 216, Green Giants 221, and Blue Jaguars 205. Let's take in some of the action.
The action is about to get going. They will be pushing out at a fast clip up the hill. And we're seeing a lead already, but normally that doesn't say much. And not purple leader is Jose. Jose is also one of the favorites in this one. And he's in grade 6, we understand. Now, when they will start to walk, that's the issue, because at some point they will start to walk. And Nikita Hendrickson pulling up now, and it's all about the walking phase. So, Jose still leading, but still grimacing. Carlton Pluck, he's from Rollins, he's from this general area. So both of them from Rollins, we understand. We're getting some encouragement. So I think it's all about bragging rights here, because two Rollins guys, when they go back to Rollins tonight, somebody will be saying, I burnt you out, I won. Whether or not that will be the case, we'll have to wait and see. And, but for now, Carlton Pluck is at the top. Jose has started to walk, and he's a little man, but he has just what his name suggests, a lot of pluck. And he's demonstrating that at this point, supported by the Rollins crew. And if I know what's going to happen, more Rollins guys are going to join in a little further up, because we're right into the heart of Rollins now. So there's a third placer in the mix there coming across. He's walking, but look at Pluck. Pluck hasn't walked. Pluck has controlled the hill, and I don't think he has walked at all. Maybe further down, but the guy told him run down the hill. Run down the hill, so he's virtually letting go. But Jose is on his tail, and one of the other Rollins guys is chasing them as well. What the Rollins guy has done, he has gone for his bike. He's a smart guy. He says, I'm not going to run anymore. Gone for my bike, so he can keep up with this jet plane called Carlton Pluck. Where are the others? I'm not seeing. Well, it looks like Jose turning the corner at the far end, but he's a distance behind now. Pluck still large and in charge. My goodness, this youngster running like a champ. Really creating some excitement here because he's going to hit the market shop area just about now. And he's going to push on the back stretch. He's going to come close to us. Yes, he's pretty close to us. The folks are right here at market shop. And they've told him, go for the record. He's going to have a tight race for second spot. Carlton Pluck slowing up slightly. But after all, he's human. He hasn't walked. He's really done well. In the distance, it looks like Young Liebert and Pluck. They're going to have a ding-dong battle for that second spot. He has run the gem of a race and he has been told to push it. He's pushing it. My goodness, a flurry to the finish. This youngster, I don't think he works the way that all of us work. I think he works with some kind of battery. So here he comes. We're going to rush to the finish so that we could get this finish good. The shout stop. They realize who the winner is. By a mile and a half. Carlton Pluck, champion. And he has done it with ease, with style, with grace. Carlton Pluck, winner by a mile. And we await. But the excitement will mount. Oh my goodness, he left him. Look at that finish. That's a brilliant finish. Tremendous finish. Wow. I think Jose might be in now. Jose's here. Jose's here. Piano, tasting. We have number 18. We have some more coming through. All grade 3, we understand. All these are grade 3. So they have done really well. Well, Carlisle, you know this is sports term, and that youngster, Carlon Ferdinand, the son of one Urkel, the man Carlon Smitten of Nevis cricket fame, he virtually ran those hills all up to Willinata without stopping once. I mean, it was a remarkable feat.
Must be that he did quite a bit of work on his own. And when you love a sport, you definitely have to do work on your own with the help of friends and family as well.
I love that, Carlisle, because it definitely was a case of help of friends and family. He's not only from Rollins, but it looked as if the entire Rollins Yardie club turned up to run alongside him. And when one stopped, the next one pick up. And then when they couldn't keep up, one jump on a bike.
That's important.
So they just brought him home all the way through.
But it must not just happen for the cross country.
Mm-hmm.
It must also happen during the school sports. And it must happen for inter-primary.
Exactly. Well, Carlisle, we cannot conclude without saying congratulations to the Windies team. Just let me run the summarized scores. West Indies, 289. Hetmeyer, 81 not out. Anderson, 5 for 46. And 415 for 6 declared. West Indies, declaring. Holder, 202 not out. Dowrich, 116 not out. Beat England, listen to this, 77. That sounds like West Indies. Roach, 5 for 17. And 246. Burns, 84. Chase, 8 for 60, and they call him a part-time spinner, and they won by 381 runs. Carlisle, you must have been one happy man.
Absolutely. I tell you something, the first innings score by the West Indies seemed a little light. But I've been taught during all my years of looking at cricket, at administering cricket, that you never know what the pitch is like until both teams have batted. And so the 280-odd, when England was shut out for 77, it showed the discipline of the West Indies team, and we could have made less. But the batters really showed some stick-to-itiveness and stayed with it, and we managed to get a fairly decent score, which assumed huge proportions when we bowled out England for 77.
Exactly.
The West Indies showed great discipline.
But look at it, speaking of discipline, second innings, they were in trouble. As a matter of fact, Carlisle, I was telling my wife, I would send him in again. That would have been my call if I was the captain. And she said, well, maybe he knows something we don't. Maybe he's fearful of the pitch and all that. And, he made the right call. At first I said, you see what I mean? Look at them. 6 wickets down for a little bit of run.
First test match, visiting team, coming out of England where it's winter and it's hot and humid in the Caribbean. Their key bowler, Anderson, had just sent down 30 overs, make him bowl again.
Okay.
Get him tired because
Okay.
you're looking towards the future matches.
Okay.
But not only that, 61 for 5, we had lost
were
some
in
very
trouble.
quick wickets.
We were in trouble.
I said to my brother Everett, listen, Everett, somebody is going to have to put up their hand. If we can get 200 runs
We good.
to add to our lead on the first innings, we'll be in great shape.
And guess what? They not only put up their hands, the 200 runs you wanted, one man made it.
Exactly.
The captain.
Exactly.
202 not
And
out.
it was purposeful batting.
Exactly. Not woofing. It was really good batting. And so we want to say congratulations to the Windies. There's some people, Carlisle, who are saying it's a fluke. It's a one-off. What do you think's going to happen in Antigua?
Well, if it's a fluke, it's a good fluke. And the fluke is on the right side. In Antigua, we are looking to see more of the same kind of discipline, the same kind of solid batting from the West Indies, from one all the way down the line. And we're looking to bowl those very same lines, and we had aggression. We bounced out some of the top order
That is
English
true.
batsmen.
That is true.
We haven't seen that in a tremendously long time. I'm just hoping that Shannon Gabriel is okay and that he's fit to take his place in the team and that we can go at England again with the same pace and make sure that we deliver again for
And
the West
Alzari
Indies.
would be on home turf.
On
with
home
a home
turf.
crowd.
Exactly.
That would be interesting. Think we could bowl them out for 80 this time?
If I can bowl them out for 175, 200,
We good.
and we make 400, I'm good.
That's our package for this evening. I'm Curtis Morton.
And I'm Carlisle Powell.
And Carlisle, we can't leave without expressing condolences to the family of the late Teddy Blackman Libert.
Absolutely. Blackman was not blessed with the greatest of cricketing talents. But for whatever team he played for, Pioneers, Calypso Cricket, Nevis Masters, whatever teams he supported, Nevis, the Leewards, the West Indies, he gave it his all. He was totally committed. And the children, the adults, everybody will miss him playing in the string band and will definitely miss
The drinks.
his local drinks.
And Carlisle, you did say maybe not as talented, but I think Blackman would take offense to that. Remember, he has a trophy mark 9 for 27. And it's a
Absolutely.
first division team he bowled out, you know.
Absolutely.
9 for 27.
Well, that was a fluke.
Well, we want to say condolences to the family of Teddy Blackman Libert. And so, folks, we just want to remind you that you can watch sports if you're not fit. But to play sports requires fitness, diligence, and sacrifice. Have a good night.